gold and silver, people. Come on.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
been taught to not think about this, right? Oh, what do you want that? But if you look at what the central bankers are doing, they're buying gold hand over fist
Yeah.
because they know they're destroying the currency.
Yeah.
And that's what the inflation is. It's showing you, and they liken back to the 1970s, right? If
Mhm.
you're reading all the headlines, oh, inflation hasn't been this high since 1981 or back in the 70s and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Well, what was happening then? We were transitioning into a brand new system. What's
Uh-huh.
happening now? We're transitioning into a brand new system. But this is bigger than it
Yeah.
was in the 70s. And I was there. So I actually do. I was a teenager. So I
Yeah.
was old enough to, I didn't really comprehend everything, but I'm old enough to remember what that looked like.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you that this is like the fourth industrial revolution. This is a fourth revolution, and we're definitely going into digitized. And
Mhm.
because the only thing with central bank digital currencies, the only thing that I've been able to find so far to justify them creating that is debt. And
Mhm.
what that means is they have to burn off this massive amount of debt that they've accumulated so they can do it all over again. And
Yeah.
that's what the hyperinflation really enables. And you better have gold and silver because that's nothing else is going to protect you
Yeah.
as far as your wealth is concerned. And honestly, we've been watching a number of countries like Mexico, and they're not the only ones, but raising rates, and it's still not having an impact on their inflation. So that's just a theory, and
Mhm.
that's a demand side theory
Mhm.
because what central banks have are interest rates to control it. They wanted to encourage real estate because that's 30% of the global GDP. That's a
Mhm.
huge part of
Mhm.
the economy. So lowering rates, well, that's one of the reasons why we saw the prices go up so
Right.
much, right?
Yeah.
But now they're going to raise the rates, and I'll say this: they have to do it for their credibility.
Mhm.
But yeah, are they going to raise the rates 21.5% like
I'm
Paul
not sure.
Volcker did?
Yeah.
And no. And by
Yeah.
the way, I think that was more about getting ramp room to lower the rates to stimulate the economy. So they're going to do it because they have to for their credibility,
Mhm.
but you'll watch them do a big pivot. Because
Yeah.
here's something super simple. There is only one way to fight inflation, and that's with deflation. That's
Right.
why they're raising the rates.
Yes.
But there's only one way to fight deflation, and that's with inflation. If you don't hold it, you don't own it because a gold ETF or a silver ETF, all you own are shares in a trust. You have absolutely no access to the underlying physical. So it's just a share, and it's designed to mimic the spot market, which is a manipulated market anyway.
Mhm.
You can see a premium in the physical market because that's a true supply and demand market. The Wall Street market is not. There are some people, I'm not one of them, because I want my gold and silver close enough to me that I can get it when I
Mhm.
need to. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, I'm too visible. There are so many hidden places in your home. Before I was so visible, those little 2-inch kick plates underneath your kitchen cabinets or your bathroom that's dead space.
Mhm.
So I put in false floors, and who's going to think, oh, they've got gold or silver
Yeah.
inside of their house?
Yeah.
I personally hold it in a private vault
Uh-huh.
because I don't really like bank vaults because they can declare a bank holiday. And
Right.
also, you are not allowed to hold cash or bullion gold, which is new stuff, in bank safe deposit box because it's classified as hoarding.
Mhm.
If you get it out of their possession, you're hoarding. If you leave it in the bank's possession, because that's really just a loan to the bank,
Yeah.
well, then you're saving.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people that hold it in offshore storage,
Mhm.
but in a crisis, which is what you're buying this for, I don't know that you'd be able to get it, just like you indicated on the wiring. But that's only your perception that that's your money in the bank, by the way.
Yes.
Legally, you're loaning it to the bank.
Yeah.
That's why they can bail it in.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
why you get a little 15 cent. I got 15 cents interest on my checking account. I have a lot of cash in there because I run a business, so I have to keep more cash than I would if I didn't run a business. But hey, that shows you loaned them the money, they're paying you interest on it. It really does depend on what the portfolio looks like, because you can hold it in a diversified manner too. I mean, what are you going to need first? You're going to need your barterable portfolio first, right? So that you really want it close enough for, like, I can walk to the vault. If I needed to walk to the vault, I can walk to the vault. That's easy.
Yeah.
And so you might want to think about holding it in several different places, but I'd still just stay as private as possible. Because nobody needs to know. IRAs came into being in the 70s as they were transferring risk from the corporations to the individuals. And when they set up these programs, and they seriously, I mean, you can read the documents. This is not my opinion. This is in the documents. They set things up to, it's called perception management. So in the IRA, if you have $100,000 in there, right?
Yeah.
People look at it and go, look, I have $100,000 in there. However, they don't want to pay the taxes, so they postpone it. Part of the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I think taxes will go down? Do I think they will stay the same, or do I think they're going to go up?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number one. And number two, this is so undervalued. If it goes in at just, $2,000 an ounce, but you take it out at $13,000 an ounce, that's a much bigger taxable hit, right?
Yeah.
There are ways in the strategy that we can recoup any taxes, any fees, any losses. But if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And the only thing you can do in an IRA is bullion gold. That's another reason why, what kind of gold? Well, if you can hold it in an IRA, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So I don't buy that, because I personally think we're going to see an overt confiscation here. There's so many manipulating the price is a covert confiscation, keeping you away from it, right? So I think we'll see an overt, and you can't do collectibles in there, though. I don't know why. They're all standard weight and all of that, but they're in a different classification. That's where I want to be.